Yo, what is up, guys? So today we're doing a full card prediction for UFC fighting Chiesa versus Magny. And guys, before we get into the video, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those post notifications so you guys don't miss when I post a new video. Also, in the comment section below, put who you guys think is gonna win the main event between Michael Chiesa and Neil Magny. Guys, 14 fights on this UFC fight card. That is absolutely insane. One of the fights being Nurmagomedov and Tom Reese, the 14th best middleweight fighter in the world and the 34th best middleweight fighter in the world. We have the 57th best bantamweight fighter in the world in Nurmagomedov, undefeated at 12-0, taking on Sergey Morazza. We have Ricky Simon, the 16th best bantamweight fighter in the world, taking on Perello. We have two top 50 light heavyweights and middleweight fighters in Gbola and Marcus Perez. We have the 21st best flyweight fighter in the world in Sumanderchi, taking on the 75th best flyweight fighter in the world in Zaruka Dashev. We have Mason Jones, a double champion in Cage Warriors, 10-0 undefeated fighter, taking on Mike Davis, the 78th best lightweight fighter in the world. We have Matt Chanel, the 11th best flyweight fighter in the world, taking on Taisendam. We have two bantamweight fighters in Rivera and Francisco Figuero. If you guys do not know who Francisco Figuero is, he is Davison Figuero's brother. That is absolutely insane. We have Victoria Leonardo and Manny Figueroa in a women's flyweight fight. We have Ika Villanueva and Vinces Mojeda in a light heavyweight fight. We have Roxanne Modafferi, the 9th best women's flyweight fighter in the world, taking on Vivian Arau, the 11th best flyweight fighter in the world. Then we have LaRon Murphy, the 39th best featherweight fighter in the world, taking on the 50th best featherweight fighter in the world in Douglas Andrade. We have Warley Alves and Munir Lazez in the co-main event, two top 40 welterweight fighters in the world. Then we have Michael Chiesa and Neil Magny, two top 10 welterweight fighters in the world. This fight card is looking really good. I cannot wait for this fight card to happen. Guys, the first fight I'm going to be talking about is Nurmagomedov and Tom Reese. This fight is a middleweight fight. Nurmagomedov, the 14th best middleweight fighter in the world. Tom Reese, the 34th best middleweight fighter in the world. Nurmagomedov, 25-1 as a pro MMA fighter, 33 years old, 6 foot tall, and has a reach of 73 inches. Tom Reese, the 34th best middleweight fighter in the world, 12-2 as a pro MMA fighter. His only losses come to Sean Strickland and Brendan Allen. He's coming off an amazing first round knockout win over KB Ballard in his last fight a couple of months ago. He's currently 29 years old, 6 foot 3 inches tall, and has a reach of 73.5 inches. And guys, I am telling you guys right now, Nurmagomedov, he has so many of his wins coming by unanimous decision. So most likely, if he were to win this fight, it's going to be by unanimous decision. If Tom Reese were to win the fight, he has a small likelihood he'll win the fight by decision because Nurmagomedov, he just wins literally every single one of the fights he wins by decision. So Tom Reese needs to go out there in the first or second round and get a TKO or knockout in this fight. And that is exactly what I think is going to happen. I think Tom Reese is going to go out there and absolutely destroy Nurmagomedov with an amazing shot that's going to put him down with a nice right hand that's going to knock Nurmagomedov out in the second round. Alright guys, so the second fight we're going to be talking about is the bantamweight fight between Nurmagomedov, undefeated at 12-0, the 57th best bantamweight fighter in the world, taking on Sergey Morazza, who's on an amazing win streak right now. And guys, Nurmagomedov, this dude is an absolute beast, 12-0 undefeated, 25 years old, 5 foot 8 inches tall, and has a reach of 69 inches. His opponent, Sergey Morazza, 16-3 as a pro MMA fighter, 31.5 years old, and is 5 foot 6 inches tall. I'm going to tell you guys right now, Nurmagomedov is an absolute beast. Sergey Morazza is also a very good fighter. If you look at his last couple of fights, he's got unanimous decision, 4th round knockout inside an M1 challenge, a first round knockout, unanimous decision. Sergey Morazza is obviously an amazing fighter, but against a guy like Nurmagomedov, it's going to be really tough to keep the fight on the feet, where he is super duper good at knocking his opponents out. But if Nurmagomedov can get the fight to the ground, he'll absolutely dominate the fight and maybe, just maybe, get a submission in this one, but most likely the fight will go all the way, and in my opinion, I have Nurmagomedov winning this fight by unanimous decision. Alright guys, so the next fight on the list is also a bantamweight fight between Ricky Simon and Perello, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, if Ricky Simon would have fought Brian Kelleher, I would have had Ricky Simon winning that fight by unanimous decision, and now Ricky Simon is taking a humongous step down in competition against Perello, who, to be honest, has a worse record than Ricky Simon does, and he's been outside of the UFC. That is absolutely insane. 15-5-1 outside of the UFC. Ricky Simon, 16-3 with some fights inside the UFC. That is absolutely insane. 100%, I think Ricky Simon is going to go out there and absolutely dominate the fight on the feet and dominate Perello and dominate and get the win by unanimous decision. Alright guys, so the next fight on the list is Gbola and Marcus Perez. This fight is a light heavyweight fight, and guys, I am going to tell you right now, this fight is not going all the way. This fight isn't even going to go to the third round. It is ending in the first or second round. by knockout. That is all I'm gonna say. Gbola 10-2 as a pro MMA fighter. So far 1-1 inside the UFC with a nice win over Daquan Townsend by TKO, and then one loss to Nurmagomedov by front kick KO. He is 35.5 years old, 5 foot 8 inches tall, and has an amazing reach of 76 inches. Marcus Perez is currently 12-4 as a pro MMA fighter, coming off of 2 losses in his last 2 fights against Driscoll Duplessis by knockout, and then Wellington Turman by unanimous decision. He's 30.5 years old, 6 foot 1 inch tall, and has a reach of 73.5 inches. Guys, as I said at the beginning, Gbola or Marcus Perez, one of these two guys is going to get a knockout in the first or second round. And I'm sorry to say, Marcus Perez, you're going to go on a 3-fight losing streak after this, because Gbola is going to go out there and knock you out in the second round. Alright guys, so the next fight on the list, we have Sumaderji and Zaruk Khadashev in a flyweight fight. Sumaderji, the Tibetan Eagle. This dude is an absolute beast, 13-4 as a pro MMA fighter, coming off of 2 wins, one by unanimous decision, and then one by knockout about a month and a half ago over Malcolm Gordon. And guess how fast he got that knockout? In 44 seconds into the very first round. Absolutely insane. He just turned 25 today. He is 5 foot 8 inches tall and has a reach of 72 inches. Zaruk Khadashev 3-2 as a pro MMA fighter. The 75th best flyweight fighter in the world, 28.5 years old, 5 foot 5 inches tall, and guess what, guys? His reach is 65 inches. Sumaderji's reach is 72 inches. Zaruk Khadashev's reach, 65 inches. Sumaderji's reach, 72 inches. I mean, come on. A 7-inch reach advantage for Sumaderji in this fight. That is absolutely insane. And Sumaderji, I mean, I am so hyped for this guy. This dude is an absolute beast. He is a future top 10, top 15, top 5 even flyweight fighter in the world. This dude is an absolute beast. 100%. I have Sumaderji going out there and absolutely dominating Zaruk Khadashev in this fight. And 100%, I have Sumaderji going out there and getting a knockout in the second round. Alright guys, so the next guy on the list, you already know who it is. It's Mason Jones at 10-0, a former double champion inside of Cage Wars, the lightweight and welterweight champion, taking on Mike Davis, 8-2 as a pro MMA fighter. Mike Davis, he's 78th best lightweight fighter in the world, 28 years old, 6 foot tall, and has a reach of 72.5 inches. Mason Jones, 10-0, undefeated, 25.5 years old, 5 foot 10 inches tall, and has a reach of 72 inches. And guys, at this fight, I'm telling you guys. And guys, I am telling you right now, this fight is going to be absolutely insane. If you look at how Mike Davis actually wins his fights, 7 of his wins are coming by knockout, 1 of those wins coming by submission. Every single one of his wins are coming by finish. That is absolutely insane. If you look at the 10 wins from Mason Jones, 4 of those wins coming by knockout, 3 of the wins coming by submission, and then 3 of those wins coming by decision. I think this fight is going to be absolutely amazing. But guys, Mason Jones, I know a lot of people are saying that Mason Jones is going to go out there and beat Mike Davis in this fight. But guys, the only people to ever beat Mike Davis in his pro MMA career, guess who those 2 guys are? Gilbert Burns, a future welterweight title challenger. He's about to fight Kamaru Usman for the belt. He lost that fight by second round rear naked choke submission. He also lost to Sodiq Yusuff, a top 15 featherweight fighter in the world. Sodiq Yusuff is an absolute beast, and he went all the way with Sodiq Yusuff. That is absolutely insane. Because I am sorry to say, I do think that Mike Davis, his striking is a little bit better than Mason Jones in this fight, and I think this fight is going to go all the way, the first time ever in Mike Davis' career, and I have Mike Davis winning this fight by unanimous decision. Alright guys, so this next fight has some serious power in the flyweight division. We have Taisendam taking on Masvidal. Taisendam coming off 2 amazing wins, 1 by knockout over Zaruk Khadashev and 1 by knockout over Jerome Rivera. He's 37 years old, 5 foot 7 inches tall, and has a reach of 68 inches. Masvidal is currently 14-5, coming off a loss in his last fight, I believe, to Alexander Pantoja by knockout. Yes, knockout. That is what Taisendam goes out there and tries to do in every single one of his fights. But before that, he beat Jordan Espinosa by triangle choke submission, Luis Moga by triangle choke submission, Naoki Inoue by split decision, and then Marco Beltran by unanimous decision. He's 31 years old, 5 foot 8 inches tall, and has an amazing reach of 72.5 inches. And guys, I know I already said it, but Taisendam, he has so much power in those hands. That is absolutely insane. In Masvidal, his last loss to Alexander Pantoja coming by knockout, and Taisendam obviously has more power than Alexander Pantoja. So 100%, I have Taisendam getting a knockout in this fight, probably in the first or second round. Alright guys, so the next fight on the list is Victoria Leonardo and Manny Fiore. This fight is a women's flyweight fight, and guess what, guys? There is going to be no age advantage at all for either fighters in this fight because Victoria Leonardo is 30 years, 11 months, and 4 days old, and then Manny Fiore is 30 years, 11 months, and 3 days old, only 1 day younger than Victoria Leonardo. That is absolutely insane. But Victoria Leonardo has a record of 8 wins with only 2 losses. She's coming off an amazing win on Dana White's Industries around 2 months ago by TKO over Chelsea Hackett. She's 5'5" inches tall and has a reach of 64 inches. Manny Fiore's 5-1 as a pro MMA fighter. She's 5'7" inches tall, which is absolutely insane. And guys, look at how she wins her fights. Her first ever fight as a pro MMA fighter in Cage Warriors was a loss to Leah McCourt by split decision. She came back with a 3rd round knockout, a unanimous decision, a 3rd round knockout, a 2nd round TKO, and then a 1st round knockout. I mean, every single one of her wins, except for one, has been by TKO or KO. That is absolutely insane. Guys, the chances that I think that Manny Fiore will get a knockout or a TKO in this fight, in my opinion, are 30% or 35%. Absolutely insane, but overall, I think the fight is going to go all the way, and I have Manny Fiore dominating the fight on the feet and on the ground, and dominating the fight and getting a unanimous decision win over Victoria Leonardo in this fight. Alright guys, so the next fight on the list is Jerome Rivera versus Deiveson Figueiredo's brother in the bantamweight division, Francisco Figueiredo, and Jerome Rivera is 10-3 as a pro MMA fighter, the 142nd best bantamweight fighter in the world, 25.5 years old, 5 foot, 10 inches tall, and has a reach of 72.5 inches. Francisco Figueiredo is 11-3-1 as a pro MMA fighter, 31 years old. And guys, Francisco Figueiredo's wrestling defense and his striking have all looked really good in his last couple of fights. And against a guy like Jerome Rivera, who's going to go out there and try to go for takedown after takedown after takedown, and once he gets you down, go for submission after submission after submission. That technique of just really good wrestling defense and amazing striking is going to be the perfect combination to beat a guy like Jerome Rivera. That is why I think Francisco Figueiredo will win the fight by unanimous decision. But if the chance happens that Jerome Rivera gets the fight to the ground, then I would say Jerome Rivera would win the fight by unanimous decision. But if Francisco Figueiredo can keep the fight on the feet, 100% he will win the fight by unanimous decision. Alright guys, so the next fight on the list is a light heavyweight fight, and I'm telling you guys that right now, whoever loses this fight is gonna be cut from the UFC. Ike Villanueva, so far inside the UFC, has gone 0-1 against Chase Herman by knockout, and then Jordan Wright by doctor stoppage. Vinicius Mejia has gone 0-3 inside the UFC against Alonzo Menafield by knockout, Eric Anders by knockout, and then Paul Craig by rear naked choke submission. So whoever loses this fight, 1000% is being cut from the promotion. And guys, Ike Villanueva has a record of 16 wins and 11 losses. He's the 106th best light heavyweight fighter in the world, 36.5 years old, 6 foot 1 inch tall, and has a reach of 73 inches. Vinicius Mejia, the 88th best light heavyweight fighter in the world, a record of 9 wins and 4 losses, 31.5 years old, 6 foot 4 inch tall, and has a reach of 75.5 inches. Now guys, this fight really depends on where the fight takes place. If it goes to the ground, Vinicius Mejia is going to win the fight by submission or by unanimous decision. If the fight stays on the feet, Ike Villanueva is going to win the fight by knockout or unanimous decision. And I definitely do think that Ike Villanueva will keep the fight on the feet, where he 100% has a striking advantage over Vinicius Mejia. And if he does do that, he will 100% win the fight by unanimous decision. Alright guys, so the next fight on the fight card is a women's flyweight fight between Viviane Araújo and Roxanne Modafferi. And all I have to say is Viviane Araújo is a perfect -350 moderate favorite parlay piece for this fight card. She's gonna win this fight 100%. Her striking is so much better than Roxanne Modafferi's. If Roxanne can get the fight to the ground, I don't even care. Even if it goes down to the ground, I still think that Viviane Araújo will win the fight down there. And 100%, if the fight stays on the feet, Viviane Araújo will dominate the fight on the feet and win the fight by unanimous decision. So that is my prediction for this fight. I have Viviane Araújo winning the fight by unanimous decision. Alright guys, so the next fight on the list is a featherweight fight between Lerone Murphy and Douglas Andrade. And guys, I'm going to tell you guys right now, Lerone Murphy, undefeated, 9 wins, 0 losses, and 1 draw. This dude is an absolute beast, 29.5 years old, 5 foot 9 inches tall, and has a reach of 73.5 inches. Douglas Andrade, his reach is 68.5 inches, 5 inches smaller than Lerone Murphy's reach. That is absolutely insane. He's 5 foot 7 inches tall, 2 inches smaller than Lerone Murphy. Murphy. He's 35.5 years old. And guys, Douglas Andrade has a record of 26 wins and 3 losses. That is a crazy record. And if you look at how Lerone Murphy actually wins his fights, 6 of those wins coming by knockout and 3 of the wins coming by decision. He really loves his striking. His striking is absolutely amazing. Guys, 84% of the votes are going for Lerone Murphy in the Tablogy predictions, mainly by knockout, and then a lot of people have him win the fight by decision. In my opinion, I think it's very likely that Lerone Murphy gets a knockout in this fight over Douglas Andrade, but in my opinion, I think the fight's going to go all the way. I think that Lerone Murphy is going to dominate the fight on the feet and win the fight by unanimous decision. Alright guys, now that leads us to the co-main event of the evening, a welterweight fight between Warlley Alves and Munir Lazzez. And Warlley Alves was not supposed to fight Munir Lazzez on this fight card. He was supposed to fight Christian Aguilera, and in my opinion, he would have absolutely dominated Christian Aguilera, but now he's fighting Munir Lazzez, and Munir Lazzez is an absolute beast, 10-1 as a pro MMA fighter, coming off of 2 knockouts in a row in the first round, and then a unanimous decision win over Abdulrazak Alhassan. Absolutely insane. He is 6 foot 1 inch tall, and has an amazing reach of 76 inches. Warlley Alves, 13-4 as a pro MMA fighter, the 40th best welterweight fighter in the world. He is currently coming off a loss in his last fight to Randy Brown by triangle choke submission. He is 30 years old, 5 foot 11 inches tall, and has a reach of 72 inches. Guys, this is a classic grappler versus striker fight. Munir Lazzez obviously being the striker, and then Warlley Alves obviously being the grappler. Obviously, Warlley Alves has some pretty good striking of his own, but in my opinion, if the fight stays on the feet, which I think it will, Munir Lazzez will 100% dominate the fight on the feet, and that is why Munir Lazzez winning this fight by unanimous decision. Alright guys, we have finally made it to the main event of the evening. Michael Chiesa and Neil Magny in a 5-round main event in the welterweight division. Michael Chiesa, the 10th best welterweight fighter in the world. Neil Magny, the 8th best welterweight fighter in the world. Michael Chiesa, 16-4 on a 3-fight win streak right now over Carlos Condit by Kimura submission. Diego Sanchez by unanimous decision, and then Javier Dos Anjos also by unanimous decision. He is 33 years old, 6 foot 1 inch tall, and has a reach of 75.5 inches. Neil Magny, 24-7 on a 3-fight win streak as well over Jiglian Lee by unanimous decision, and then Rocco Martin by unanimous decision, then Robbie Lawler also by unanimous decision. He is 33.5 years old, 6 foot 3 inch tall, and has an amazing reach of 80 inches. That is absolutely insane. And if you look at Michael Chiesa, he has a record of 16 wins and 4 losses. He's been fighting since 2008, where he started with a 6-fight win streak. Absolutely insane, which got him a shot on the Ultimate Fighter 15, where he got a first-round rear naked choke submission, a unanimous decision, a third-round knockout win over Justin Lawrence, a second-round knockout win over James Vick, and then on the Ultimate Fighter 15 finale, for a shot inside the UFC, he ended up fighting Ali Aquinta and won that fight by first-round rear naked choke submission, got a second-round rear naked choke submission win over Anton Kovanin, lost his next fight to Jorge Masvidal by second-round dark choke submission with 1 second left in that second round, came back with a second-round rear naked choke submission win over Colton Smith, a unanimous decision win over Francisco Trinaldo, lost his next fight to Joe Lozon by second round doctor stoppage, came back with a unanimous decision win, and then a second round rear naked choke submission win over Jim Miller, and then in his next fight fought a top 10 lightweight fighter in the world, and Beneil Dariush won the fight by second round rear naked choke submission, lost his next fight to Kevin Lee by first round rear naked choke submission, and the fight after that to Anthony Pettis by second round triangle armbar submission, came back with a second round Kimura submission win over Carlos Condit, a unanimous decision win over Diego Sanchez, and then a unanimous decision win over Javier Dos Anjos, and now he looks to make it 4-0 in the welterweight division here against Neil Magny in this fight. Alright guys, so if you look at Neil Magny, he has a record of 24 wins and 7 losses. Inside the UFC, he has a record of 17 wins and only 6 losses. That is absolutely insane. Inside the UFC, he's beaten guys like Tim Means by unanimous decision, Eric Silva and Kelvin Gastelum by decision, Hector Lombard by third round TKO, Johnny Hendricks by unanimous decision, Carlos Condit by unanimous decision, Craig White by first round knockout, Jinglian Lee by unanimous decision, Anthony Rocco Martin by unanimous decision, and then most recently Robbie Lawler by unanimous decision. I mean, that is absolutely insane. Both of these two guys have fought some amazing competition inside the UFC. And guys, if this fight stays on the ground, Michael Chiesa 100% will have an amazing advantage, and most likely, if he's on top on the ground, will win the fight by unanimous decision. If the fight stays on the feet though, Neil Magny 100% will absolutely dominate the fight and win the fight by unanimous decision. It just depends on how much time gets spent on the feet and how much time gets spent on the ground. In my opinion, I think the fight is most likely going to spend maybe 75-80% of the time on the feet, and that is where Neil Magny will shine the most. And because most of this fight will be spent on the feet where Neil Magny has such a striking advantage over Michael Chiesa, 100% I'm going for Neil Magny to win the fight by unanimous decision. Alright guys, so that is it for the video. I have Tom Reese beating Nurmagomedov. I have Nurmagomedov beating Sergey Morozov. I have Ricky Simona beating Gaetano Perello. I have Gbola beating Marcus Perez. I have Sumaderji beating Zaru Kadashev. I have Mike Davis beating Mason Jones. I have Taisendam beating Matt Chanel. I have Manny Fiorez beating Victoria Leonardo. I have Francisco Figuero beating Jerome Rivera. I have Ike Villanueva beating Vinicius Mojeda. I have Vivian Arau beating Roxana Modafari. I have Laron Murphy beating Douglas Andrade. I have Munir Lazez beating Warley Alves, and then in the main event, I have Neil Magny beating Michael Chiesa. That is it for the predictions. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, put your predictions in the comment section below, but I'm out of here. Subscribe!